Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me for another week ahead reading. This is going to be a little check in week ahead reading for the week starting February 23rd. And I am going to tap in. I've already opened space before starting this recording and connected in to the Akashic soul field for the collective that is here to watch this. So if you are drawn to this, if you are here and you want to receive this message, then this is for you. Essentially, that's my intention as I open the space and connect in. And this is going to be a little just check in and tap into the energy for this reading. For this week ahead. I'm also going to pull a couple of runes and share any messages from the runes to help us just tap into and move forward into whatever this week ahead has for us. If you're new here, my name is Shannon. I am a shamanic practitioner, and I really find it so helpful to take a moment or a few moments and ground in and connect into the week ahead as I am starting a new week. So I wanted to bring this here and see how it resonates in this space on Substack or YouTube or podcasts, like wherever you are receiving this, either watching or listening. So it is Sunday night, the 22nd, and I really didn't want to wait until tomorrow morning to do this. I wanted to do this now. Excuse if you are watching this. Excuse my appearance. I have a really funny case of hat head going on right now, and I'm a little tired, which sometimes is the best to tap in and just allow these readings to come forward as just a flow state as possible. I traveled this weekend for womb continuum care work, which is this really beautiful form of womb, belly, pelvis tending work that I offer. And I went to see a colleague of mine who also offers this work, so we could work on each other and give and receive care. And I just got home and wanting to really tap in. I feel the energy of this week. It just feels so strong. And so I felt really called to just sit down and do this reading. So this probably won't be a super long reading unless I get surprised by how much wants to come through. But hopefully this will be a very potent reading. I was really feeling the energy of this week. My whole drive home. So let's talk quick, energetic overview input of this week. I am not going to make these weekly check-ins very astrologically based. There's a lot of people doing astrology readings, and while I follow the astrology, if you want deep astrology insights, there are amazing astrologers doing that. You can go find whoever picks your fancy for the deep astrology insights. But because I do follow the astrology, I often like to bring in little bits and pieces. And the piece that I want to bring in as a reminder as we move into this week is that we are in eclipse season. We had our first eclipse last week on the 17th, which was also the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year. And then on Friday the 20th, we had the Saturn-Neptune conjunction exact at 0 degrees Aries. And they're still in conjunction, right? I mean, they're very slow moving planets. We are going to be feeling the conjunction of Saturn-Neptune for a while. That is by no means gone and completely finished now that we're past Friday, but Friday was the exact conjunction, which is one of those again, we don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but holds the energy, holds the promise of being an era defining kind of astrological signature that just was exact and we're still in the energy of. And then we have another eclipse happening on March 3rd, so that is next week, next Tuesday. So we are right in the midst of this eclipse energy, and eclipse energy is big, fated energy. It can sometimes be a little chaotic. It can be wow, I did not see that coming, and okay, I guess this is happening. Sometimes it can be really things that needed to end or begin finally you hit the point and you end something that needed to end, or you start something that needed to start. There are also moments often of redirection or realignment where it's okay, if you were off your path, as it were, in this way, in this direction, and you actually need to come this direction, eclipses are really going to bring in energy that's going to help you. And sometimes it can feel like a force, like, universe, just let me make the mistake. No, I'm kidding. It's actually, take the eclipses as divine redirection, as divine support. So we are still in the middle of this fated time. Eclipses are destiny energy. So, and then this is a big one, right? Because the first eclipse of this eclipse series, these two eclipses, was an Aquarius. So we haven't had a northern eclipse in Aquarius in a while. And it happened on that 17th, right? On the Lunar New Year. As we ended the year of the snake and we started the year of the fire horse, which you've probably heard a lot about. And I mentioned it last week too, and I did a weekly reading. So point being, like, that was a really big energy. And then this eclipse is coming up next week, which I haven't looked super deep into. So I can't tell you a lot about it yet. I'll probably talk about it next week. But I do know it's happening in Virgo. It's our last Virgo eclipse. So we're clearing up, we're ending a story in Virgo that's been going on for a couple of years. And it's happening on March 3rd. And it is I believe that one's a lunar eclipse. But don't quote me on that yet. I haven't looked deep into that eclipse. But we started a new energy with this eclipse last week, and then next week it's a closeout eclipse. It's a southern eclipse. It's ending a story in Virgo. So the Virgo area of your chart. So that's the only astrology I want to bring in right now, just to ground and center where this reading is starting, where we're coming from with this reading. There's a lot more going on astrologically than that. Like, the end of February and into March is a really, really jam-packed astrological time. So if you are interested in those transits, you can go tap in and look at that with the many, many astrology resources there are out there. So what I want to do is just tapping into the energy of this week. How can we prepare best for the week ahead? How can we prepare to meet the energy of this week ahead? That's always my intention with these readings, is how can we meet the energy? How can we meet the week as best as possible? So I'm going to start actually with a couple of runes. So if you're not familiar with the runes are a Norse method of divination, of connecting into the energy. The runes were something that I was taught during my shamanic training. I really love the runes. I think they have a really beautiful way of communicating. And so I really love to connect into the runes for a week ahead energy. So just connecting in to the energy of the runes and asking for any runic insight to this week ahead for the week of February 23rd on 2026, for the collective that is here watching, hearing, receiving this message, asking for how can we best prepare for, connect into, read the energy of this week. Okay, so there is, just the way these runes came out, there is an energy of like unknown this week. Two of them were upside down, like face down when they came out, and the other was facing away from me. So I am going to read the runes like when I flip them and see what they have to say. But when they come out like that, sometimes that's the rune saying, we're not giving you an answer, we're not giving you a read. This time, my connection with the runes, my intuition is saying there is still a message here for us, but the first thing is to take the message that there's not going to be a lot of clarity this week. Like runes, two of the runes being upside down when they come out, or start face down when they come out, that's saying already, there's not going to be a lot of clarity this week. Don't look for this week as a week where you get the like, those times where you have like the eureka, like aha moments. Don't take this week, don't go into this week hoping that that's what you're going to get, because you're probably not going to get that this week. So 3 runes came out. The first one is this rune, the rune Uruz, and it's upside down. So Uruz upside down is saying something about our community, our connection to others, and Uruz also can have a connection to wealth, so our resources. Upside down, something's out of balance. It could be that we are, like, maybe you're going through a realignment of your community. Maybe you're going through a realignment of your resources. Maybe money is, like, in a weird place for you. Maybe some of your friendships are falling away. whatever it is that's going on, there's something here where your community system, your support system, the net of security that has held you in some way, whether it is your people, whether it is more of your resources, maybe whether it's a combination of both, something is changing. Um, and this is very eclipse energy, very eclipse energy. Something is shifting. Something is like, it's it's needing to change in some way. Maybe it's doing the change for yourself. Maybe you are being called to make a change of some kind. Maybe you're no longer feeling super connected to a certain community. Maybe you're no longer feeling super connected to a way of like managing your resources or making money or something like that. Like there are a lot of different ways this could be interpreted. And so to keep this general, this is saying that the energy of this week, there is something that is needing to shift, or this shows you, oh yeah, there's a shift or there's a moving away of some kind of energy to do with Urus, to do with community, to do with resources, to do with wealth. And then coming after that, we have the rune Jera. So it's like something needs to shift, or you have to let something go, or maybe sometimes it can be like eclipse energy, forced to let something go. You just like, it clears out. But then that then brings you to Jera, which is the rune of harvest. So there is a like reaping of something you've been sowing that starts to happen this week, or maybe you get the ideas, the inklings, the path that brings you towards the harvest, but you do have this starting to connect in with the harvest this week. So that's a really powerful message. Sometimes to get to the harvest that we seek, we have to let something go. We have to let something evolve. We have to let something dissolve to get to harvest. And then we have the rune Perthro. This is a rune of luck. And you can kind of see it looks like a dice cup. And you really like you could have dice in there and shake it out, right? And like, what's the luck? What's the luck of the draw, or the luck of the roll in that case? So there is a luck aspect to Perthro. So this can mean that like this is a week to trust your luck. Sometimes it could be the energy, like, because my intention for this was like, what's our read of the energy, right? What do we need to know moving into this week? It could be this is a week to trust your luck. It could be this is a week to kind of take some chances, and of course taking chances in a way that like also makes sense. You know, this doesn't mean just like go out and like buy all the lottery tickets in the world. It means like if there are chances that come your way, and they feel in alignment with the harvest that you are working towards, like gathering, then maybe there's a chance you take this week. Maybe, you know, you release some old aspect of community or some old aspect of like making money in some way. This is just an example. This may or may not resonate with you or relate to you, but this is an example. Maybe there's something you release this week that leads you towards this path that's going to allow you to really harvest what you've been working to grow, what you've been working to create. And in doing so, there is like some kind of chance or opportunity that's offered your way. And maybe that's an opportunity that feels to you like, yeah, this is an opportunity I want to take. I'm going to trust my luck. I'm going to try it. And it also could be saying, you know, the other way this could go is like an opportunity comes up and you're like, that's not an opportunity I want to test my luck on. I actually don't want to do that one. So there's an element of luck in some way this week. Just pay attention to that, and decide however that shows up, whether it's just opportunities to trust yourself and trust your luck, or it's opportunities to like, or opportunities that come your way that you get to decide, do I want to follow this or not? Just pay attention and see what chances maybe come up for you. How do you want to play with that energy of luck this week? And yeah, this is going to show up a little differently for everybody. That's kind of our overarching energy. There is something that needs to release or shed. There is a harvest of some kind that comes in or starts, and there is an opportunity to potentially take a chance, potentially trust yourself, or perhaps something comes in that you're like, yeah, I want to try that, or I don't want to try that. Actually, I'm not going to do that. So that's our rune reading energy. Okay, so those are our runes. The other aspect of this reading, so for the week ahead, is I just want to connect in with the overarching energy of the kind of collective, what I connect into and call the collective Akashic or soul field for the collective that is here receiving this message, and just asking if there are any messages as we move into this week, the week of February 23rd, to be shared, to come through right now to help prepare for this week. This could be a week of endings and beginnings, and the emphasis there is on the beginnings. And you might hear endings and beginnings like, what do you mean? We just ended the year of the snake. Are we not done shedding? An ending is not the same as a shedding, first off. So the shed of the year of the snake, completing or completed, depending on where you are in your process. Endings are, think of an ending of what comes after the shed. Sometimes we shed the skin, the snake sheds the skin, and then it sheds its skin, for example, in its current, like the hole that it's been like living in. It sheds its skin there, or the habitat it's been living in, it sheds its skin there, and it goes, okay, well, that skin's now there, so I'm done, I'm ended in this particular space, and I'm gonna move over here so I have room away from the shed skin, and I'm gonna begin again. So ending doesn't mean you're shedding. Ending is like something could come this week where you're like, okay, yeah, that is closed, that's ended, because here's the new beginning that's starting. This is, here's something that's beginning that maybe has been in the works for a while, and here's the ending that comes so the beginning can happen. So don't think of it as a shed. It's not a continuation of a shed. It's like a closing. It's like, ending, beginning. So this is a week of some endings and beginnings. There's also a peace that you can tap into this week. This peace is available to you this week. And you could absolutely ignore the peace this week. You could absolutely just gallop ahead and ignore the peace and come to this end of the week and be like, there was no peace this week. And that is the peace that's on offer this week is a choice. It is a choice if you want to feel peace this week or if you want to gallop ahead. And so as you listen to this, as you receive this energy reading, you get to decide. Totally up to you. But there is a peace on offer this week. And that peace is the peace that comes when you're like, we feel the ending. And you step into something new. You close one door and you open a new one. And there's a peace that happens. There's a peace of, that is complete. Truly, truly complete. So that's an aspect of peace that's on offer. The other piece is just this deep peace that you can choose to breathe into and cultivate within yourself this week. The peace of, I'm here. I made it. I made it through the shed. I made it through the last few years or a few weeks or a few months or for however long it's been. However long that length of time is for you when you think of the last bit of time. I made it through it. And I'm at peace now. And there is momentum and newness and a fire horse and all these things, right? There is big energy coming, but right now I'm at peace. And this is a week where the ability to tap into the peace and just be in the peace, even if it's just for a day, even if it's just for an hour, that peace is on offer. And that peace is not necessarily going to be on offer in the same way all year long. That doesn't mean you can tap into peace whenever you want. That's a skill you can cultivate. But there are going to be weeks of this year as it continues on where it's just the energy is too busy. And the peace has to be an internal practice. This is a week that the energy can support you. If you want to make peace an internal energy that you can tap into more easily, this is a good week to focus on that, to take some time to meditate on peace, to take some time to feel, what does peace feel like in my body? Because there's energy this week that will support you in that if you wish to. This is a good week to take some time to be slow, to take some time to be still. If you live in a place where there are blooming plants, there's blooming life happening, this is a good week to go sit with the blooms, to go sit with the plants, to go sit with the grass that's peeking back out or whatever it is in your environment. If you're not in an environment where that's happening, that's okay. There is still peace that can be found even in the winter. There is still peace that can be found no matter where you are. You can still go find that peace in nature. I mean, if you're someplace where it's very cold, go find frozen water, for example. Go sit by a frozen river. Go sit by a frozen lake. There's so much peace that you can find there, and breathe the peace of the frozen, or breathe the peace of the blooms happening, where, depending on where you are, and allow that peace to teach your system what it feels like to honor and to be at peace. So that is an energy that is on offer this week, and on offer to help you learn how to be in peace, because that is a skill that will really support you as you move deeper into 2026. Because think of the weeks of 2026 that have already happened don't even really count. They're not even really 2026. They're 2026 to the calendar, the human calendar. They're not the energy of the new year. We just started this new year. Like, new year just happened. New energy just happened. You are right at the beginning. So take some time this week to cultivate your own peace. Take some time this week to learn how to be in peace. Even that, just closing the eyes and breathing into the body, that's peace right there. You can cultivate peace just by doing that, and just breathing in, imagining that you're breathing in peace. And then breathing out peace. And then breathing it in and out, and just like you breathe the peace, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Any other messages for this week ahead, for this group, this collective? So this is not a week where there's a lot of clarity. Like, don't look for like the deep clarity. Don't look for the eureka moments. However, at the same time, and it's not really clarity, but it's like, it is adjacent to clarity. This is a week where, as you take your time for peace as well, use some of that peace, perhaps, that you make space for, to vision the path that is really starting now, this new year energy that's really starting. And I'm seeing this vision of like a foot stepping onto the ground, and like this footprint, the first footprint being left. And then, of course, the feet will continue and more footprints will start. But this is like the first footprint of this year, of this new energy, starts this week. You're putting your first footprint down. What do you want that footprint to be? What direction do you want it to be going? What energy do you want to put your first footprint down with, even? So what is your first footprint looking like, feeling like, being in this week? And be conscious about that. Like, consciously choose. I want my first footprint that starts this path to feel this way, to feel strong, to feel embodied, to feel grounded, to feel at peace, to feel whatever it might be, whatever your intention is. I'm just giving you a few words as an example. And this is how I'm going to make sure that I really set that first footprint down on my new energetic path forward. This is a week to be aware of that. And this is a week. I just heard this is a week to pray. But not in like a, oh, that's so funny. I don't use that word often. Because it has often such a religious context to it. So I'm not using it in a religious context, personally, although if that's what you want to do with that word and that resonates with your soul, please do. But this is a week to pray. What that means is this is a week to talk to spirit. Whether your spirit is God, goddess, whether your spirit is spirit guides, ancestors, whether your spirit you talk to animals or trees or Mama Gaia or the stars. This is a week to talk to spirit, to talk to all that exists around us and within us. This is a week to pray. Pray for the world, pray for each other, pray for your loved ones, pray for yourself, pray for the footprints, the first footprint that you're making on your path forward, this new path, this new year. Pray for the first footprints of all those around you, that everyone may make their first footprint of this year, of this path in the most embodied, aligned, beautiful way possible. Like, pray for the most beautiful possible manifestation of this new year energy for us as a collective. Pray. This is a moment, this is a week to put your prayers, your conscious intention, which is really what prayer is, out into the universe. To remember that you are part of a greater tapestry of life, and to pray to connect into that greater tapestry of life, to remember that, to stay tapped into it, to stay humble and connected, to pray. And that's that. This is a week to pray, to co-create with divine, however you do that. This is a week to co-create. This is a week to be in conversation with. This is a week to practice peace. Thank you. Allowing that beautiful collective soul Akashic space to close. Thank you for those messages. Thanking our guides, our spirit, our loved ones. Thank you. What a beautiful message. I love that so much. That makes my heart feel so full. And I hope yours does too. I hope this has resonated and supports you. And I'm wishing you such a beautiful week ahead. If this is supportive, this is the second of these weekly readings that I'm putting out. If this is supportive, please let me know, because this is something that I'm wanting to do. I want to make a practice to put these out every week. And so if there's anything that, like, if you like this and you like this format, let me know. If there's anything you'd love to see added or different or whatever, I'd also love to know. Be super, super open to hearing that. So thank you in advance. Thank you for being here. Wishing you such a beautiful week ahead, and I'll see you next week.